Welcome to the Fearless Pursuit. I'm Danielle Guilbot, and today I'm speaking with John Alznauer, who runs the successful entertainment marketing company Early Media. He's also one of my friends and classmates at University of Austin.
Beautiful.
All right, amazing.
Okay.
So, John, you and I met over the summer, right, filming a short film,
We did.
and it was so much fun. And I think it was just through UATX. Like we were about to go to school, and then we decided, let's do this. And you and Sayer, right, decided
Yeah.
to make it. So you were producer.
I was.
How was
yeah.
it being producer?
It
on
was
a
so
movie
fun.
set?
Yeah. So me and Sayer met at UATX Live, which was an event at UATX where a
Mhm.
bunch of like prospective students went. And I found out he was interested in film, and I had just started getting into like
Yeah.
the entertainment industry, doing advertising. And I was like, this is such a cool opportunity to like get to know another student and maybe work on something. And we thought it would be really fun to actually like work with a bunch of other students before we got to class on an actual project. I had like no experience producing. I had no idea what a short
Yeah.
I'd seen 2 short films maybe my entire life.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, like it's not something that was in my purview, but it was so fun. And one thing I do remember, so we were looking for like a lead,
Yeah.
right? And we needed a student. And I saw in the Discord that you'd mentioned you'd done acting, right? And I was like, okay, like lots of people say that. I typed your name into Google and I was like, oh no, she's legit. Like we're not gonna be able to get Danielle to work on our stupid little short film. But you said
No,
yes, which
it was
so
amazing.
awesome.
I was so excited. I was thinking there's no way that anyone's going to be excited about making a movie before we even start school. And it'll probably be, in the later years, like junior, senior year, when we're working on our Polaris projects, which is like a 4-year project we have to complete, like a business or something that makes money. And I thought that that's when we're going to, get things going. But we started out with a bang, like before freshman year even started.
That was pretty
Which is
awesome.
amazing.
Yeah.
What was the producing of that movie like for you? Like, what steps did you have to take to get it completed?
It was a lot of like sitting in Google Docs and writing like every single thing that would happen, like
Oh my
where
goodness.
money would go, what we'd spend money on. We needed like roughly $5,000, which is not that much money, but at the same time, like neither me or Sarah wanted to just spend $5,000,
Yeah.
so we had to get funding from the university. And so in order to do that, you actually need to put together like a pretty detailed proposal because they don't give money to you and then say like spend it however you want.
Yeah.
So we it was a lot of like sort of guessing how much money we'd have to spend, looking for Airbnbs that would actually let us film,
Yeah.
and then coordinating with like a ton of students that said they were interested and then some backed out and then like other people suddenly last minute wanted to fly in and join us, and like it was crazy, but it was so fun.
Yeah. And it was over Discord, I think. We kind
It
of
was,
just, like,
yeah.
all the advertising for it, y'all released it like for the first showing, I think, on Discord.
Mm-hmm.
And then now it's on YouTube, and it's so good. You should go watch it. It's called Please Be Sad.
You should. It's pretty awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
how did y'all come up with the idea for the film? Was that also at UATX Live?
So no, after UATX Live, we got on like a couple of like Zoom calls together, and
Oh, okay.
after like the second one, we decided like, okay, we actually do want to work on this project. It may or may not happen, but it's super fun. And that's a good question. How did we decide on the idea? I think we just sort of went through like topics that were on our mind. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like, and
yeah.
we started talking about like our human relationship to emotion, which is a really hard to understand concept.
Yeah.
And increasingly as like modern technology advances, it becomes more and more like controlled or superficial, if you know what I mean.
Mhm.
Like
Yeah.
you can take like antidepressants and like significantly change your mood, and like that's wonderful. It's amazing that we have that technology now. But the fact that we're able to do that begs the question, like what are emotions, and like
Yeah.
are they real, and what part of them is? And so
Yeah.
that's like where the idea came from.
That's incredible. Did you ever see yourself making films, or did you see yourself more distributing and marketing them?
So I've always loved film. Like it's been like something I've really admired, and I feel like it's almost the ultimate art form, and that there are all of these like differing worlds that collide in one beautiful expose of creation, and I love
Yeah.
it. And I think it's also the most powerful way, and it still is, even with like modern technology advancing, to actually tell a story and convey it to someone.
Yeah.
Like the emotions that you can inflict through film are like nothing else. Like some people are really able to access paintings or something like that, or a piece of music really speaks to them. But I feel like with film, it's the most human form. You know, like
Yeah.
you can understand, like you can see a scene that you so deeply relate to and that means so much to you that it creates all of these like really deep emotions within you. And I think that always captivated me, is like I really respect the people that do that. I couldn't do it, but if I could, that would be so awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you got to.
Yeah, it was so fun.
And people, we showed it at orientation, and I think a lot of people were able to relate to it, or at least respected the process and the idea that we explored in the film and they all
Totally.
came up with. And I think that that's really special.
It was amazing.
It was
and
terrifying, but it was really cool.
it was really scary. And one of the things when we were writing the script, like Sayer primarily wrote the script, and I read it and I really liked the way he wrote it, but I thought, like, when I read it, my biggest criticism, like we were leaving comments on Google Docs and I had like a big end comment, which was, this is a great script, but you're going to need a good actor to pull this off, because like this is going to be really cringy if you don't have someone that like nails the lines. And you somehow did. Like, I do want to say that, like, you were exceptional. Like, both me and Sayer were talking about it in the moment. We were like, you can actually deliver these lines. And
Well, thank
I
you
don't
very
think
much.
either of us were sure that was going to happen, you know? Because it was,
I wasn't sure I could do it either.
Yeah.
So we were all in for
Yeah.
an experiment. But yeah, and then we also had little menthol sticks, which kind of
Oh,
helped.
that was so fun.
You
yeah.
and Sayer started like crying.
Oh, yeah. We tested the like, tear sticks on our eyes, and you're supposed to put them like 2 inches down, I think, or something like that. And we just did like right under the eye, like right there. Oh, that burning sensation. I still remember it. Yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna have to live with that forever.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, film is fun. Film apparently it can be dangerous.
Yeah, don't
too.
watch the behind the scenes. Yeah,
Yeah,
you'll,
don't do
yeah.
that. Okay, so then you got into the film industry, and before you even came to UATX, you already had your early media distribution company, correct?
I did. So we're an entertainment marketing company, and so
Okay.
we run ads for film and television projects on
Amazing.
social media. Yeah.
That's so cool.
And
How did you decide to do that?
Yeah, so I've always loved like business, and I know that's so general, but like ever since I was like 3 years old, like it's all I've ever wanted to do was start businesses. I have like folders of like hundreds of pages of like mock-up websites for like companies I
Whoa.
would like to run if I was technically capable to. And of course I wasn't. And like the 5 years preceding starting early, I started a bunch of businesses that did not pan out, or like succeeded in one way but not in another. But it was like so fun. And then about a year and a half ago, I was on my phone watching YouTube shorts. Like, so it does not sound like a good start, right? Like, was not being productive. But
God, John.
I know, yeah. But I saw this one short, and it was from this movie called War Dogs. Have you seen it?
I haven't.
Okay, so it's
Don't cancel me.
no,
Don't
it's
do that.
it's like not the best movie, but there's this one really compelling scene. It's about like arms dealers.
Okay.
And there's this one guy, and he is staying in a hotel room, and he steps out of his hotel room and looks down, and he sees 2 guys that are clearly selling weed. And he's like, yeah, I want to get high. So he goes down
God.
and gets out like a wad of cash, and is like, I'd like to buy some weed. And the guys are like, sure, okay. They take the money and they look at him and they're like, what do you want? And the guy realizes he just got scammed, right? But remember, he's an arms dealer, so he's not like the kind of guy you want to play with. So these guys think they're so smart, like playing this white guy. And then he goes back up to his hotel room, gets an AK-47 out,
Oh my.
comes back down, and just starts shooting in the air, and the guys run away. And it's like such an iconic scene.
Oh
But
my God.
anyways, like I saw that and I was like, okay, I need to see this film. Like that was too entertaining. So I went and I paid $3 like in the moment, like closed
Wow.
YouTube and watched the whole movie. And then I like afterwards thought about it and I was like, wow, marketing usually doesn't work that well on me. Like somebody
Yeah.
must have paid a lot of money. So I went back on YouTube, pulled up the video, and it had 100 million views, and some random kid had posted it. Like it wasn't the like Warner Bros. Or whoever
Oh my
actually
God.
made the film. And I thought to myself, like, okay, why is this not being monetized? Like that was such a massive value creation moment. I looked at the comments and like thousands of other people had this same experience I did. They were like, what's the name of this movie? Like, I want to go watch this.
Wow.
And so I looked more into it, and there are over 100 billion views a year of people just posting clips of films on social media, like in vertical video.
Wow.
So they show up in TikTok, Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts. So I realized that if I was able to aggregate all of these like clip creators, these people posting these edited clips of films on social media onto one like marketplace where then studios could buy like ad space on these accounts essentially,
Yeah.
I'd be able to significantly undercut what the studios are currently paying to like Google or Meta for the same kind of ad.
Oh my god.
So that was like the basic idea.
That's incredible, dude.
Thank you.
Wow. And you had been, how many years have you been running that now?
Gosh, this has been almost 2 years in May. Yeah.
Wow. You've seen so much Whoa. You've seen so much success with that already.
Thank you. Yeah.
That's insane. And now you're also getting paid to do it.
I am. Yeah.
A
We have
job as well, which is insane.
we have a really nice situation with internships from Joe Lemont, who has been really generous. Yeah.
And we're about to go on a business trip, and we're gonna work on all of our stuff.
Totally.
What are you planning to do on the business trip?
Oh, there's too much. I have to. I'm working on this like intermediary landing page that I think is going to significantly increase conversions from people that watch a like top funnel video, which means like sort of the moment where someone discovers a piece of entertainment. After you click on that ad, I'm trying to build like a landing page that will like 5x conversions from like seeing that ad to actually signing up for a subscription, like to like
Wow.
Paramount Plus or like Disney. Yeah. So that's my plan, is to sort of workshop that and get it ready to go so that I can build it. And also I'm trying to scale up I'm building a small sales team to actually, because
Whoa.
we're early in go-to-market now, because we have market validation. So
Yeah.
it's about scaling that up and getting more clients.
Well, congrats. That's amazing.
Thank you.
What would you say is the easiest social media platform
Oh,
to create ads on? And how is it different between like TikTok versus YouTube versus Instagram?
that's such a good question. I'm going to nerd out here because I think about
Amazing.
this
Go for
way
it. Go
too
for it.
much. Okay. Everyone says TikTok is the best platform, right? Like
Mhm.
they say, you get amazing return on ad spend. Like consumers really engage with content well. I've seen like the literal exact opposite. Like I
Really?
can't for the life of me get a video to go viral on TikTok, but every single video I post on Instagram, like it's so much easier. And so I'm not sure if that's specific to my niche, but from what I can tell, the TikTok algorithm, like sort of, it has a more of a variability factor. That's like not a technical term, but like what I mean is there are a lot of movie clip accounts on TikTok that have like 2,000 to 5,000 followers and have like one video in 100 that gets an insane number of views. And then they just go back to getting like hundreds or like a couple thousand views. And I can't monetize that. But on Instagram Reels, like there are accounts that have a few million followers that consistently get about 3 million views per video. And that is so good for monetization
Yeah.
because I can sort of guarantee the number of views I'm going to get and charge my client accordingly.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then how did shorts coming out on YouTube kind of implement the TikTok or Instagram Reel situation?
Totally. So Shorts is like if Reels is really reliable and TikTok is completely crazy and you have like no idea if something's going to go viral, then YouTube Shorts is like right in between that.
Okay.
There is like an incredible amount of volume on YouTube Shorts, but I would classify it as like lower quality
Okay.
from an advertiser's perspective. So the way in which we monetize is we have to reach the right kind of audience in the right demographic. And Instagram's really good at doing that. Like we can target primarily US or UK and get the right audience for a film, like where they want to market. But on YouTube, there's like a disproportionate, they're really big in India. And so we have, and like there's nothing wrong with like if you're working on an Indian film and you're marketing to that audience, it's awesome.
Yeah.
But for American clients, it's harder because there's disproportionately more views you're going to get that aren't from your target demographic. And so you have to adjust what you spend accordingly.
And how do you figure out who to help distribute or advertise for?
So if you have a film that you're trying to promote, I'm your guy. So basically anybody. No, I'm
nice.
kidding. There are some films that just don't work for social media.
Okay.
surprisingly, most stuff does work, but like if you're pushing the boundaries of like content guidelines, like let's say there's like explicit discussion of suicide in your film or something like that, right?
Yeah.
I can't work with you. Like,
Okay.
and that's not like some moral judgment I have. It's just like the platforms will not boost your content, and I make money from boosting your content. So
see.
I can't work with you. But anything that's advertiser safe that has a really solid story, I can work with.
And
Yeah.
do you put it into like YouTube Shorts or Reels instead of long form content, or you do both?
We are exclusively doing short form video. Yeah. So we
Okay,
have
really?
like this theory about storytelling on social media where we take advantage of what I call like mini arcs within like films. So when you're watching a film, I imagine you've seen like the like I don't know, like rising action, climax, falling action, like
Yeah.
that standard story, right?
Yeah.
But in reality, when you look at these films, they all do have that. But if you go more granular, if you look at a given scene, there's that same arc within like 20 different scenes, right? And you can see
Yeah.
that build, like there's a setup and a payoff, and there's a hook and there's a delivery, and that's so consistent, and you see that in every film. And so what we do is we recognize like these short form video platforms are around 45 to 60-second videos.
Okay.
And
yeah.
the scenes that have these mini arcs are roughly 2 to 3 minutes. And so what we try to do is we try to distill a mini arc into 45 seconds by cutting out any sort of slow part, but keeping the same through line. And then making sure that that mini arc ties into a larger arc that would make someone want to go watch the film. And so that's our sort of
Wow.
like theory when it comes.
Do
Yeah.
y'all use any AI to help aid you with that?
We do, yeah. So we use AI at like multiple different stages, but primarily we're not the ones editing the videos. So we're like a connector where we will take, I don't know, a few scenes from a film and we'll send it out to like 100 clip creators. And we give them the freedom to do the edit themselves because no one knows better than them how to like make a good video that will reach their audience, right?
Yeah.
So we leave that up to them, and they might do like a minutely different edit than like the next creator with a slightly different audience and slightly different background. But yeah, I know they use AI. Like it saves a ton of time. You can go from editing these clips in an hour to having like 10 variants of them ready in 3 minutes.
Wow.
Which is incredible, and the technology is continually getting better. So there's so many opportunities from like content creation to finding these creators to managing them at scale to handling contract negotiation. Like right now we're integrating AI into sort of doing a more custom contract generation system for each creator. So there's all sorts of opportunities.
That's insane. That's really cool that y'all are able to harness that.
Yeah, totally.
I feel like AI just really started becoming easier to access.
It did.
Like the last 5 years. Probably the last 3, honestly. But
Absolutely.
I feel like it's really great that we have all this access to it. Not for writing your papers, but, you know.
Of course not. I wouldn't. No, yeah.
Yeah, no. But it's really cool that we get to use it for our projects and stuff like this.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any moral judgments against AI, like just personally or in certain aspects?
Yeah. That's a good question. I think like in the short term, I'm so AI positive. Like I love AI. I think it's great and it's really, really helpful. It saves time. It makes the market more efficient, which means goods get cheaper. I'm all into like that's awesome.
Yeah.
Long term, I don't know. Like I feel like there's a risk of if you can have, for example, an AI that can take a senior executive level position at a company, then you're going to like sort of like train of thought, like logical, like if that's true, then this has to be true. Like say executives at the Fortune 500 companies all become AI and like you maybe have a board of directors that oversees it, but all of the like decision making is happening with just models sort of interacting with each other.
Okay.
So you have this fully like autonomous or like non-human like collection of companies that are being managed by AI and like talking to each other. The logical conclusion, because these models are centralized, like they're owned by 3 or 4 major companies, is that I think almost for national security purposes, the government will sort of take more and more control of the largest companies and like the market movers. Because when you have like major companies that control everything across the board, industry agnostic, it becomes a little dangerous. And so this is like I don't know if this will happen, but I'm just thinking like if
Yeah.
we see AI evolving this way and it starts taking a lot of these decision-making roles away from humans, we might see a very consolidated like government that controls a lot of what we right now have in a purely free market.
Mm,
Yeah.
okay.
Just food for thought, sort of conspiratorial. I don't know if it'll happen, but yeah.
No,
I don't
that's
know.
okay. Do you think it would ever take your job?
My job. Okay. So, yeah. I'm very like optimistic on art. And I think that
Mm.
specifically entertainment is a great place to be long term because the one thing that AI can't do is tell a human story
Yeah.
because like they don't have our experience. No matter how smart they get, they aren't us.
Yeah.
Like they can't tell the story of like a loving family, or they can't tell the story of like I don't know, seeing a beautiful sunset. You know, like that they can't like they're human experiences that can't be replicated.
Yeah.
And you can at a surface level, right? Like ChatGPT can tell me a story about watching a sunset and it sounds nice. But we want to hear stories from humans, and I think that's like fundamental to our nature as humans. So I think there's always going to be a place for human stories and human storytelling. And for that reason, like I'm confident this industry is going to be around for a really long time. It's going to undergo massive change, and
Yeah.
some of the like more programmatic content that is probably going to be largely AI generated. But I think it'll just continue to grow as people like increase their demand for authentic stories.
That's great. I love the optimism. I appreciate it. It's good. As an actress, I would hope that it's a good industry to
Yeah.
stay in. Would you ever though, if you got content that was AI generated or it was written by AI or animated by AI, something to do with AI, would you still promote that, or would you rather just keep it to human stories?
Oh, so you're saying like, does my business have like qualifications where we wouldn't work with a completely AI project?
Yeah. Or
So
you may not have decided on that, but
Mhm.
if you had.
That's a good question. I have not worked with like an AI film yet, and I think it's still sort of nascent. Like they're not
Yeah.
ready to be promoted at scale. They're not like they don't really make money yet. But
Yeah.
when they do, I think we'll certainly want to work with them, and we'll be like pro working with them because I don't think that like my vision. I think entertainment is going to expand, and so it's not really like AI is going to eat into the percentage that everyone else has. I
Okay.
think it's just the entire pie is going to grow. You know, it's just going to be a bigger industry because there's going to be more demand for entertainment, like for all these other factors through AI. So yeah, we totally work with them. We also want a place for human storytelling, right? And so
Yeah.
we wouldn't become like an AI exclusive marketing
Of
company or
course.
something like that. But
Yeah.
yeah, we'd absolutely work with them, and we'd love to promote their stuff. Yeah.
Amazing. And I think what's really cool is you don't have to stay in LA or New York or even Atlanta necessarily to do all of this and be successful in the entertainment industry or even just, advertising movies and whatnot. Like you don't have to go to a big budget studio and make them anymore. I
Totally.
feel like you can do it from your home. You can get people together and
Yeah.
do what y'all had done with Please Be Sad, where it's you get a group of people together, you tell a great story, and then you are able to advertise it.
Absolutely. Yeah, the barrier to entry in entertainment is just like it's been decreasing for the last like 100 years, and I think it's going to continue to decrease, and that's a great thing because
Yeah.
it means there's more dynamism, there's more change, there's more opportunity for people that really like put their mind to it and have a vision they want to share with the world. And so, yeah, it's such a great thing, and AI is just compounding that.
Yeah. Well, I guess final thing, what's next for John?
What's next for me? Okay, so I'm all in on early media. We are going to become the destination for running micro influencer campaigns, and that's not only in entertainment. Like
Mm.
our go-to-market is primarily entertainment. So
Okay.
we're working with like studios to promote like movies basically. But long term, we want to expand horizontally into as many verticals as we can because we have a really unique insight, or at least I think we do. Like we got to test this. Yeah, I shouldn't be too overly confident, but
It's okay.
I'm really excited about the future of the company, and I think like our techniques and our know-how is going to apply to like a ton of like travel, podcasting, like what we're doing right
Yeah.
now. Like we've got all sorts of stuff coming up.
That's
Yeah,
amazing.
Well, I'll have to use your services then.
Totally, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll
And
give you a
so-
friends and family discount.
There
yeah.
you go. And anyone out there?
You should take John up on his business. I think it's pretty awesome.
Awesome.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank
I
you
really
for having me,
appreciate it.
Danielle.
This was such a fun discussion.
That was so fun. Yeah.
Amazing. Well, stay tuned for the next episode. ASMR.